The Synaptics Astra AI SoC family powers a lot of smart home devices. On top of that, we actually also have a line of AI Vision MCUs that can enable tons of ambient intelligence applications. What I'm holding in my hand is a privacy sensor our team implemented using the SR10 AI Vision MCU. What you're going to see is this is a tiny SOM that we implemented with the purpose of demonstrating what our customers potentially can do. Hidden behind this window over here is actually a privacy shield that will let customers feel comfortable with the image lens behind it. What's very different for this as a sensor, it's not a camera at all, is because of this device records nothing, captures nothing, and stores no personal identification information at all. What we also are trying to enable for smart home intelligence and ambient intelligence with this device is to provide customizations and tailored reactions based on the user. I'll right now do a demo to you. You're going to see a LED over here on this device that flashes different color when we recognize the different persons. In this process, what you're also going to notice is I will not capture or enroll anyone. You see quickly the LED is flashing a red LED that's assigning a virtual abstract identity to me. And based on this virtual identity could actually drive the rest of the smart home. Imagine you're coming back to the home entrance, you get into the door, and this privacy sensor knows who you are without storing and capturing any image or video. The rest of the smart home devices can automatically now set the temperature to your preference, play the music you love, set the lighting to what you prefer, all without storing anything, all the cloud involved at all. Everything is done privately on device at your home.
So this is a personal profile.
This is
set up for you,
yeah,
without storing any data about you.
Yes.
So the only thing here is metadata?
The only thing here is an abstract 256 byte metadata virtual representation.
Nice.
That cannot be reversely engineered to how you look like.
Okay, but this could still identify different people.
Yes,
so you
absolutely.
can enroll different profiles in the home.
That's right.
So that when you're in the house versus your wife is in the house, you have a different profile set up.
Exactly.
That could be a different lighting setup or a different air conditioning level based on how you like the environment.
Exactly. I don't know if you, when you travel, if you sometimes uses the hotel's mobile key for the major hotels now, it's all like that.
Yep.
And in some of the hotels, when you go in, they try to store your personal preferences too.
Yeah.
And for this, it's essentially bringing the same type of intelligence locally without sharing any of those privacy information. So we call it the privacy sensor. And what we really want to enable is this ambient intelligence environment where your device serves you rather than you issue 1, 2, 3, 4 and numerous commands to get the home to do what you want.
So we talk about the device. What kind of devices can this be put inside? So this could be put inside a light fixture, or
that's right.
What else could this be put inside?
Yeah, think about an AC or a fan, a light fixture as you pointed out, where you get home, the AC with this technology embedded can not only know who you are to load your preferred temperature, actually can also estimate the distance you are. So it actually drives the right level of comfort based on how far you are from the AC. Even that you have two people in the scene, what we can do with the high-end ACs with the customers who are in early engagement, they can actually drive different wind temperature preferences in two different directions. So that's what the customization we want to enable. Similarly to the lighting fixture, based on what the consumer, the user is doing, you can actually decide what's the right color temperature. The kid is actually reading a book. You want actually to increase it,
yep.
6500K, protect the kid vision. But she's just relaxing, playing on the toys, and you can actually use ambient, relaxed light and set the environment to be much more relaxing.
So this is deployed on our Astra SR10?
Yes,
this is the SR10. So the beauty about this is then low power as well.
Yes, exactly.
So this could be even battery powered.
That's right, that's right. So we're demonstrating here, because we're demonstrating the core module Synaptics products and provides to our customers as an AI SOM, where we include everything you need on the hardware side and also on the software side with the algorithms. But the core part is actually this board behind it. You can integrate it easily to any other device, like AC, smart light, different types of devices. When we move actually later to the home family room area, like imagine you are sitting in your living room or family room, and you have your setup box. And typically you watch Netflix. And when you sit in front of it, rather than issue a command, holding onto a button.
Just to get to that level, it knows who I am. It just brings up Netflix.
Yes, and the kid sits down there, she's watching Disney Plus, and just automatically launches Disney Plus. And if you think about even in the kitchen environment, right, what we can enable is we can actually tell kid from adults. So if you are in the kitchen, this actually provides extra layer of safety. You could actually tell it's just a kid and she's getting too close to a hot stove. You should actually send an alert to the parents or sound something in the rest of the smart home system, warn the parents, and stop the accident before it happens, before the kid touches a hot stove.
So because it's based on Astra, it's such a small device, this could be integrated into a device in the home.
That's right.
But it also could be like a peripheral extension to a device.
Exactly, yeah.
So easy to retrofit to things that you've already got in your home.
That's exactly right, because of the low power nature. This AI Vision MCU, at everything, when you run the chip at its full capacity, only consumes 100 milliwatts.
Wow.
So that's extremely low power, and you can definitely do an advanced battery powered device. It's small form factor, attach it to anywhere. That's actually exactly how we're starting with some customers. Well, they're in the process of integrating this technology for the future gen to be integrated directly into the device.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean change everything in your house today. It means you can add it to devices you've already got.
Yes.
And then over time, as you buy new devices, it's already fully integrated.
Exactly. So that's the evolution the customers have in mind. And just back to your question about whether it can tell the people, you remember it was showing the red LED to me?
Right.
You can see that? But if I let the camera, the sensor actually look at you, the privacy sensor is going to assign a different color to represent a different person that it sees. Yeah. So if I switch it back to me, you can see it quickly flashes red. That's the speed.
It's instant?
It's instant. It's only a few tens of milliseconds. So it's like for a human, the speed is so fast, like you don't realize it when it already activating the action.
So you can see I'm sitting on the sofa, I need to have mood lights, and I'm going to the kitchen, I need to cook, it switches on the brighter lights.
Yeah.
And then I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
It will just know.
Right.
And if I'm just going to the kitchen, pick up a drink, it's not the same like if I start cooking, maybe.
Based on your profile and your habits, the smart home system can learn, right? So what we're doing is like we provide this abstract identification with a privacy sensor. So the rest of the smart home, the main controller over there can know your preferences, learn it, and then it can customize and tailor it to what you like.
But this can also identify the difference between an adult and a child.
Yes.
So to the point of a kitchen environment, if you had a child walking next to a hot stove,
Yes.
it could sound an alarm or it could even turn off the stove.
Yes, exactly. That's what we are. So interestingly, because of the consumers' habits are so different globally, the exact use case you just described is what we're seeing a lot of interest from the customers in the United States. An interesting thing, like people don't really know, it's actually crazily scary. In the United States, there's over 200,000 kitchen fires every year. So this has a lot of value. In addition to protect the kid, just leave it as an extra safety device in the kitchen. And even think about the healthcare use cases a lot of customers are also exploring with this. How do we not intrude people's privacy when people are aging from home and help them?
Right.
So they can load tailored algorithms on that and help to ease those applications into deployment.
Yeah, and with regards to children, a lot of people have concerns over cameras, right? No
Yes.
one wants to be able to have cameras of their kids.
Yeah.
But a sensor like this, it's a much safer environment, so it's easier to deploy, easier to accept.
Right. Then, mistakes happen. I even have colleagues who tell me like he used to buy cameras and supposedly it's just like local streaming, nobody can see it. And one day he accidentally pulls out his app when he's not home and he can see the live stream. And then he just unplugged all those cameras right away when he got home. Because this level of knowledge. It doesn't store any video, like give people the extra assurance, like it's a privacy.
This takes all those concerns away.
Yes, there's no video, JPEGs, video, anything stored. It's just the digital representation that's shared across the home you can use for customizing and tailoring the reactions of your home.
That's exciting. Let's go and look at how this could be in devices in the home as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The same privacy sensor, we just talked about the use cases. You could customize your home entryway when you get back to your home. When you go to your living room or your family name, that's the family room, it's the same applications. You typically would have your sound bar or your setup boxes in your family room or living room. This, from the customization point of view, can now offer you a very low cost, effective solution to tailor these reactions. I don't know today how many steps you have to jump through to get to the app you need. So when my kid uses a Fire TV controller, for example, she sits in her couch, click on the home button, a few clicks get to her favorite app, and then opens YouTube or Disney+. With this sensor, with this capability, when you embed it into a sound bar or a setup box, what you can do now is when the moment you sit down over there, it's going to launch the right applications that you typically use.
Could even be in the remote, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Because it's so low power.
That's true. Actually, that's a good point. That's a good point. You could even, we designed this module in a way that's so tiny, you can embed it and connect it to any device you want embedded in. So I'll do the same demo you just saw. It's giving me the red color. And if I look at Andy now, it's going to assign a different color to show that's a different person for Andy. And I turn it back to me, you can see the speed, it splashes to red right away. And I turn it back to Andy, you can see the speed. Everything on device. Nothing needs to go to the cloud, and you can just use this tiny bit of data intelligence to drive the rest of the home.
Does it need to be a black dot?
No.
Could it be other colors?
Great question. It could be several different colors. We're not in the business of building this. As you know, we're selling the semiconductor, but you're asking actually a great question, because our team built this obviously to make this circle more obvious to see, to show that what's actually behind this technology. Our customers can choose to have the entire piece, the area, in the same color, and it's less obvious and much, much less intrusive on the products. And also this can be, black, white, purple, pink, different colors. We leave that to customers, their ID and plastic will go together.
Maybe it should be branded in a certain way so people know it's there. And actually they would be happy to know that it's something that's not invading privacy, but adds functions.
Yes, so that's a good point. So we're actually in the stage of exploring with customers. They all like this technology, but there's always this piece like, how do we bring it to products like the consumer be accepting it? You have a very good point. That's actually what some of them want to do, and they're going to make clear notice about the sensing technology. This is a sensor, we don't store any data, it's such obvious to the consumers. Some of them are also actually designing a mechanical switch, just in case some people are extremely careful and they just don't want to use it for first, and they can cover it anyway. So they want to make sure people can accept it and they understand the process is a process and it takes time.
Do you need to register every person in the system?
No. So you saw, like, if I unplug it, we did the demo in the way, like when I unplug it, everything starts refresh. And I did not take any picture when, like, for example, I plug it back in and it's going to power up and it's going to look at me, learn who I am and assign the first color.
So as long as it keeps the power,
yes,
it will know that that's your Netflix profile.
Yes.
Every time you come back, because it's going to stay powered.
Yes. We can also let the customer decide whether they want to encrypt and store the digital representation of that person associated with the profile. They can decide to store that, absolutely. At the same time, I think you raise an interesting point, it's like, we do it as a reference implementation. A lot of the things we need to make sure we work with the customers to figure out the best solution in their particular use case. So each smart home vendor actually will do things with their own twist and slightly different. We're learning that from them. And that's more, the good news is that's the level of the application level. Fundamentally, they just need to take this core module, put it inside the product, all standalone, and the rest of the applications we are learning and figuring out with them together.
And
While it needs power, I think the reality of this, because it's the SR10, which is such a low power device, even in a soundbar or something like we've got behind us here, in standby, that would still be available.
Oh, yes.
Or a battery device.
Yeah, so what I didn't mention is also think about the energy saving perspective this device can actually bring. So right now, if you look at all of these like TVs, lights, home devices, etc., when there is no person, you might have left it on. And just because it consumes so little power and it knows the presence, and we can leave it in a sound bar and you just left home in a hurry and it was playing the music. But it sees like there's nobody in the home for 15 minutes, and then the customer can decide in his setting, like just automatically lower the volume, go slower, I'll stop it all together.
Right, so this could be turning off the TV or turning off devices, a little bit like geofencing in a way, but it's just operating based on its sensing of you being there.
That's right. It's a very intelligent, advanced presence sensing, but taking care of the privacy.
And in IoT, presence sensors or movement sensors are very low power. How is it compared to this power consumption? Or could you have a movement sensor trigger it or you don't need, because it's actually the same low power?
Great question. There's a few different technologies in the presence sensing world. So if you look at the smart home landscape, there are people who use PIR sensors, but that's actually fading out because the accuracy, the issues, false alerts it actually causes. So people are either moving to this technology or radar. But with radar, there's a lot of limitations. You touched a very good point, is the power draw. Low power, low cost radar is actually good about telling whether there's a person or not. What they're not good at is when there are multiple peoples over there. And then you need to like upgrade to the much more expensive multiple transceiver, multiple receiver type of radar. Consequently, the power draw suddenly goes dramatically higher, way higher than imaging vision-based solution there. What is also interesting there is really the algorithm complexity for customers. We have a lot of customers that have a team of PhDs to focus on getting the radar algorithm right. And the iteration, the innovation that with the data and that technology actually is really limiting. And they feel handcuffed. They could not roll out features fast enough. They cannot collect the data. And there's a lot of real world situations fundamentally we cannot address. For example, when you have a ceiling fan that rotates, radar technology would false trigger all the time. Or if you have like metal or glasses, there's also reflections and also ghosting points, like they call it radar ghost. And there's just like these points that pop out from nowhere, and with data collection being a bottleneck for that technology, the customer's algorithm intelligence just cannot figure out whether those are true or false.
Just on the wind, it triggers the security camera.
Yes.
And that's not.
That's
you're gonna get a
like
lot of
motion.
useless footage.
Yeah, and for radar, like it's a little bit more challenging even when you have these ghosting effects. It's like you don't need wind. Like nobody knows like where it comes from and how do you filter it out. And then like when you have a rotating ceiling fan, you have glass doors, you have windows. A lot of people have a big patio window that is all glass. You have no idea why it reflects and triggers. So it's not really reliable. With this technology, with the fundamental need we're addressing is really how do customers iterate faster, and with abundance of data, they can make the AI smarter.
And you could combine it with a security camera to trigger it at the right time. And
Yes.
not do like now where it just does a bunch of useless footage.
That's right.
And
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
and how does is energy compare with PIR? Is it
PIR is
actually the same or lower or higher?
higher. PIR's power consumption is negligible. The issue with PIR really is it's just so many false alerts.
False alerts.
But could you trigger this with a PIR?
Yes.
And then confirm that it's actually
Good question. So yeah, so you combine the best of both worlds, right? So you might have noticed there are actually two screw holes over there. So we actually give customers the flexibility to add an external PIR and the PR can trigger this to power on, and then have the extra level of intelligence.
And then this one triggers the security camera after.
That's right, and then you get the best of both worlds. So thank you for asking that question. That's actually, we designed that to be extendable.
And if I have 10 or 20 in my home and they're constantly running, is it going to be a high energy bill at the end of the year, or it's totally fine?
It's totally fine. Think about it like when you are moving between these sensors views, they can tell each other you're coming. Especially the home actually learns about a habit. Like if you think about how you move around in your home from one room to the other, typically these simple machine learning algorithms can actually easily do that. It wouldn't like get your energy bill out. And on top of what you said, with battery powered PIR, we can do tons of extra intelligence on it.
So this is how we're going to be speaking with the walls.
Hopefully you don't need to speak.
No, but they will be smart walls. Anywhere.
Yes, but our goal, what we're trying to accomplish with our customers on the smart home side, is really like forget about you talking. We don't want you to be a slave to the device. Can we get to a point we provide so much ambient intelligence that's just serve you? So without you issuing the command, anticipate your need. And to do that, you first need to know who is who with the privacy protection in place.
Can you update the software that runs this thing a lot?
Yes.
Many things can happen in the future to make it even smarter?
Yes. Even like for different areas of your home, you might want it to have different types of intelligence. Right? For example, about the use case earlier we talked about in the kitchen, you want to do child detection. And if it's just a child, you want to alert the parents. But for the family room, you want it to be embedded here with a different recognition association for what you prefer to watch.
So you can have different profiles for different environments.
That's right, exactly right. Yep.